Hi, everybody. It's Craig from Doc Sports, back with your NHL rundown for Tuesday, the 7th of April. No IC tonight, just me. So we're going to do this rapid fire here, but we got a big schedule tonight. 11 games in the NHL. We're going to cover all of them. Of course, people always say, hey, what's your top play? Who do you like today? Who's the best? I got an all sports pass. I always suggest you get the all sports pass, so that way I've been 7-0 with my top plays the last, about 10 to 14 days, including Brewers winner yesterday. But the only way you get them all, and you don't have to guess which one is the top play, is if you text your name, 574-333-8717. You'll get the 2-week all sports pass, $99, and you'll get one-on-one with me. That's a $600 value instead of having to jump around and buy the individual day passes or week pass, and then maybe you're playing a 3-unit play today instead of the 7-unit play that I like the best, or 5-unit, 6-unit play, whatever. If you get them all, this is the only way to do it. Okay, let's go NHL, starting us early. Columbus and Detroit here. Detroit minus 116, total 6. And, man, remember how much money we made on Columbus after they fired their coach and they went on that run all the way, even come out of the break a little bit. But, man, this team has really struggled. 8 straight losses here. And they're facing a Detroit team that's not much better. They've lost 4 of their last 5. At least, some of those were some nice, close. They lost at home against Minnesota 5-4. That Minnesota team's pretty good. The Rangers game was at the Rangers, not great, but they did win at Philly. I think this is Detroit teams to play here. And Columbus is a team that I think you have to fade. It looks like they just hit the wall at this point. And at this point of the season, you have to be riding instead of just looking, like longer term. And that's what we're doing here. I think you fade Columbus in this spot. Okay, next game, second game here. Tampa Bay at Ottawa. And Ottawa's favorite minus 131, total 6.5. And it was a Tampa Bay team that lost at Buffalo yesterday. Now they're in the rest disadvantage against an Ottawa team that hasn't been terrible. They've won 6 of their last 10 games. And, they've been feisty. They've lost. They won 2 of the 3. They beat Carolina. That was an impressive win. Also beat Buffalo in that stretch. The one loss, 2 back, was to Minnesota. I think they're the play here. I think Tampa Bay used up a lot early in that game, and I just don't think they're going to be ready for this one. Give me Ottawa minus 140 in this spot. Florida at Montreal. Montreal minus 212, total 6.5. And did anybody see that Florida would come to this point of the season and be out of the play, eliminated from the playoffs? In fact, they're the second worst team in the East right now with 77 points. I didn't see that. I did think maybe they would struggle like they did last year and just barely get in, and then who knows what we have. But they're facing the 4th seed Montreal that they're pretty daggone good right now. They have 100 points. They're only 4 points out of having the number 1 points in the Eastern Conference here. So I think you take Montreal here. Now, I don't like the minus 212. So to play, I think you play the full minus 1.5. You get it basically at even money or just off of that. Montreal's won 8 of the last 10 games. I think they keep it going here. Boston at Carolina. Carolina minus 177, total 6. And Carolina's a team that, they just keep grinding. And I don't think they're the best team, even though they have the most points in the East. But, man, they just don't take days off. They're very focused. Now, do I think they're going to win and get to the Stanley Cups? No. I do think they have some glaring weaknesses that will come up come playoff. But right now, this team's pushing hard. They've won 3 of their last 4. They're facing a Boston team that's lost 3 in a row. Let's take Carolina in regulation in this one. Now, Philly at New Jersey here. New Jersey's favorite minus 121, total 6. When I was looking through the whole card today, and I knew I was going to have to cover all these games that I see off today, I was like, hey, where is the underdogs coming from? Because, if you have a 11 slate, you're probably going to have 4 underdogs. This was the one I thought was the one that was most likely. Now, it's not a huge underdog, but Philly plus 108. They've won 7 of their last 10 games. Face a New Jersey team that's pretty good at home, but Philly's got even more road wins than New Jersey has home wins. That's how good Philly's been on the road here. And they've won 2 in a row. They won at Boston just a couple days ago. I think you take Philly here plus the 105. Now the next game, Seattle at Minnesota. Minnesota minus 251, total 6. This is a Seattle team that's really, really struggling right now. I mean, there was a point in the season I thought they had a chance to make the playoffs. That all but just disappeared about a month ago. But I like them here, Minnesota, to keep it going. Now, I actually think Minnesota, they're the 3rd best team as far as points in the West. I think this is a team that's a good bet to win it, to get to the Stanley Cup. I think they have what it takes. But I like Minnesota here minus the 1.5. I think this is going to be a whitewash. This is a Seattle team that, even when they got up at home a couple games back 2-0 against Utah, then they gave up 6 runs or 6 goals and lost. I mean, they've lost every game, their last 4 games, all by more than 1 goal. So give me Minnesota minus the 1.5 in this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on all the great content we have here at Doc Sports. Colorado at St. Louis. Colorado minus 158. Total 6. And this is a Colorado team that's had some scratch-your-head losses from a team that a month ago we thought was just going to go away and hide. They are up 8 points on Dallas in the West, so they're probably going to end up with the number 1 seed. But this is not the way you want to go in the playoffs. They've lost 2 of their last 8 games, including to the same St. Louis team. They at home, they lost 3-2. It was a couple days ago on the 5th. So they had a day off. Now they're traveling to St. Louis. I think St. Louis plays with a lot of confidence here. I like St. Louis plus the 125 in this one. I think Colorado is just counting the days till the end of the year. Calgary at Dallas. Dallas minus 238, total 5.5. And this is a Calgary team that when they win games, it seems like they have to score goals. They're not the greatest defensive team. In fact, the 2 games they've won at Anaheim 5-3, 4 back at Vancouver 7-3. So I think you play the over in this one. I think Calgary has to push the pass to play more wide open. They've had 4 straight overs in a row. I know Dallas is a pretty good defense and has played 3 of their last 4 games under, but I think Calgary's only way to go is push this up and down and hopefully to get some more wide open hockey game. Give me the over in this one. Edmonton and Utah. Utah minus 122, total 6.5. And Edmonton is 4th in the East, but they are way back. And they're tied with Anaheim, in fact, with 87 apiece. And then Utah's only 1 point back. So this is a pretty important game to how those standings maybe will end up. I think that means Utah's going to play desperate hockey. They've also scored a bunch of goals. They're 8-2 on the over. So I wouldn't talk to anybody about the over. But the better play, I'm going to take Utah minus the 122. Vegas minus 239, total 6.5. And if you look at the standings, if you would have said Vegas is potentially going to miss the playoffs, I'd have been like, you're crazy. But right now, they're the 7th seed. They have 86 points. Nashville's got 81, and Kings got 81. So luckily, those 2 teams are struggling. Otherwise, who knows what would happen to Vegas. But, I thought Vegas was a lock to be a top 4 seed. And now everybody's like, well, they'll play good here. Well, Vancouver had a nice win a couple games back. I want to take Vancouver plus the 1.5. So the Vegas team has 4. Count them, 4 wins. And when you lay the minus 1.5 Vegas this year, they're 31-46. Nashville at Anaheim to finish this up here. We talked about Anaheim and Nashville being right there at the end, needing wins. I just think Anaheim's the better team. I said coming out of the Olympic break, I thought Anaheim was going to push for the playoffs. They're there now. They just have to finish. I like Anaheim. Pretty important game here. Anaheim minus 150. All right, that's what we like for today. Don't forget, if you want to get in on all of our plays, all of my plays, very simple. The only way to make sure you don't miss out on the top plays, I'm 7-0 at the top plays, so get them all. So won't have a top play every night, but I'll have 3 plays every night, sometimes 4 or 5, but most days 3. You text me, 574-333-8717. Say you want the 2-week 99 all sports pass, $600 value, and I will send you the link. The only way to get it is get it directly from me at this. Text me at this number. Good luck.